Hey guys, King of Charms here to be your judge, your jury, and your analyst, and today I bring to you Dunsparce. The brand new rollout Dunsparce is an absolute freaking Giga Chad. Well, actually no, Giga Chick, because my Dunsparce in this shoutcast is actually a female. So she's going to absolutely destroy everything. You're gonna actually see some really sweaty and sweet battles from this shoutcast, and just how hilarious it is that Dunsparce is able to do the things that she can do. And with rollout, its coverage. Fun fact. Alright, some interesting facts about Dunsparce is that Dunsparce versus Bastiodon. This is probably my favorite matchup because Dunsparce versus Bastiodon with rollout is actually able to it beats Bastiodon in every shield scenario. So going straight drill run, it can beat Bastiodon in all shield scenarios unless Bastiodon has shield advantage. So you will see a mistake that I don't do in the first battle, but the first battle is disgusting, but you'll see why. But Dunsparce is absolutely hilarious. It's amazing. Actually can have play in this as a kind of like anti-metamon. In this, like, it kind of is like anti-meta because you beat Bastiodon with it. It also beats Trevanent. Believe it or not, it can beat Trevanent. It also beats Walrein. You can also beat Registeel. So Dunsparce also beats Registeel. So in a fucking hilarious fashion, in the one shield, yes, in the one shield, okay, not in two shield, but in the one shield. Well, what happens with Dunsparce is if Registeel doesn't shield 2 drill runs, or doesn't shield 3 drill runs, it actually goes down. But against Registeel actually has to expend both of its shields, and it's left with 21 HP. So even though you lose the 2 shield, you can take him to the zeros and farm down Registeel. So unless your opponent wants to give up switch, you're going to get energy advantage with whatever comes in. So that's just some freaking funny examples of how Dunsparce is kind of the anti-meta, and the Season 12 anti-meta, unique anti-metamon to this, and it's hilarious. It also can beat G-Fisk, which is hilarious. Against Galarian Stunfisk, let's see, against Galarian Stunfisk, you actually beat it. You can actually beat it with energy lead. So with a little bit of energy lead, you can take out G-Fisk. And the funny thing is, it's the same thing with Registeel. Even if you do lose, your opponent has to use 2 shields or they're gonna go down. So it's freaking hilarious at just how Dunsparce is. If you shield the Earthquake against G-Fisk, even better. You can win out the matchup. So those are just some funny, interesting tips, and Dunsparce is hilarious, and it'll anti-meta its way, and I hope y'all enjoy these battles. But before we get started, this is my therapist mental health tip of the day, and as usual, you can easily fast forward, skip through 2 minutes, or go to the chapter so you can skip past this. And it's about accepting DBT skills, which acceptance. Real quick, in dialectal behavioral therapy, distress tolerance offers 2 set of skills for coping with uncomfortable situations. One subskill is represented by the acronyms ACCEPTS. And it allows you to, this acronym is strategies for distracting yourself from distressing emotions and giving time to lessen intensity or fade away, or accepting basically these emotions over time. So just like how you play in Go Battle League, I'm accepting the fact that I'm using Dunsparce. So if I play bad, that's perfectly fine. But you're going to see some crazy battles in here, and DBT is actually a very meta psychotherapy style, so if you really want to take a look at it, look in the description below. Without further ado, this is Dunsparce anti-meta, absolutely hilarious, the new rollout movesets in Go Battle League, Open Great League, and let's get started. Alright, here are the battles, and for the first one we got Legend on Legend, and then I see a Swan, and then I get Bastiodon. So I actually lose this match, but this is what you shouldn't play at the beginning of the season. If you're why would you run Grass Hole at the beginning of the season? Why? Like why? I don't get it. So where I actually would have won this match is if I stay in with Swampert, and then I just leave Sableye for the Grass Hole user in the back. But because I don't know anything about it, this is actually my first match with Dunsparce, and imagine my first match with Dunsparce being against freaking Grass Hole. I get the Bastiodon, but here's where I make a big mistake. Because the problem with Dunsparce is that even though it's tanky, the problem is Shadow Razor Leaf will shred through Dunsparce. So I learned that after this battle. So sadly, I didn't. Yeah, Sadly, I wish I saw Grass Hole again because I would have known what to do with this team anyways. But yes, Grass Hole Variation 69 is still disgusting. And if you are trying to get better at Go Battle League, you shouldn't run it. I know I say that if you're strapped for time, you should use, like, you can use Grass Hole if you're, like, strapped for time, but there's no excuse. It's the beginning of the freaking season. Run Charm. Don't run Grass Hole. Run Charm. Do something. But, like, still, as you see, I see Evil. And then this is when I realized that Dunsparce isn't tanky enough to be able to get to 3 moves. So, sadly, it's not. Had I given up what I should have done in this scenario was and they get the debuff for extra disrespect. But what I should have done is that let Swampert go against Medicham and then save Sableye and Dunsparce for that Shadow Victory Bell. Dunsparce can actually beat Bastiodon in the back straight Drill Run just because Drill Run's double super effective. In this case, we lose the lead and it's a Shadow Dragon. This is an example of a trainer I respect very much. We got Legend on Legend action. And I respect you very much for running Shadow Superpower Dragonite. I am very, very impressed. This is where I'm very impressed. But we have the Safe Switch in the Sableye. Sableye will be your Safe Switch with this team if you plan on using it, but Dunsparce isn't the greatest thing to climb with Elo. Shadow Swampert, Dunsparce, and then yeah. And my opponent switches into an Excavalier. My brain is like, what? Why though? So if this goes through, this is going to hurt a lot because Excavalier does not resist Foul Play because it's not a fighting type. As you see, I'm able to fully farm down my opponent and you pretty much gave up an entire Excavalier. The good thing is I got rid of that Excavalier because Excavalier would have done work against Dunsparce. This Foul Play is going to go off. We will break this last shield and I'm going to send in Dunsparce for extra disrespect. Here's the problem though. I don't shield this. I know this is a superpower. I just want to see how tanky Dunsparce is. And as you see, it is able to survive an entire superpower. And I'm like, oh, that was terrible. That was a very bad idea. I Hydro Cannon down. My opponent's not switching out because I'm guessing that whatever's in the back is very weak to Swampert. So I take out Dragonite and I see a Marowak and I am crying right now because what I could have actually done in this match, I'm going for the 4-9-6-20 Earthquake, but what I could have actually done in this matchup, I could have farmed out at Dragonite, and then I could have absolutely, like, just erased this poor Alolan Marowak with my freaking Dunsparce. More memes, but I didn't meme, I did the meta play. Freaking meta plays, man. We got more Legend on Legend action, and this is terrible. I lose the lead, and I'm like, good sir, are you running super meta? Apparently, you know what's funny? In this first couple of days, every single person I've met with the beta pose, with Legend pose, has run super meta, and I'm like, why? Why? This season is this, like, you can have fun in this season. You don't need a super sweaty, try hard your way to victory. Like, seriously, like, some people don't know what fun is. But as you see, we got Swampert onto Sableye. I'm going to actually shield this, and this is actually, yeah, I'm gonna double shield, I'm gonna double, like, this is really rough already. So I'm going to shield this. I'm going to fire this Foul Play. I'm going to try to break shields here. I could possibly Shadow Claw my way down. If this was a Shadow Swampert, this play would be a lot safer. However, it's not a Shadow Swampert. It's a regular Swampert. If you lose the lead with Swampert, guess what? You're going to switch into Sableye. And in this case, we don't really have a choice but to have Sableye versus this freaking Hydro Cannon Swampert. And as you see, I'm able to Shadow Claw down. We go down shields, but we keep alignment. So I'm able to keep alignment, but the problem is there's a G-Viz. And the problem with G-Fisk is that, yes, I have Swampert, but Swampert takes a ton of damage against Earthquake. And this G-Fisk is going to farm us down. With that, an Earthquake is going to come to fruition, and we're in a lot of trouble. So as you see, we're going to send in our Swampert, and then, but this gives me a win condition. So even though I hard lose the lead and switch, here's what happens. Earthquake goes off. It doesn't take out Shadow Swampert. I'm waiting for that switch, and I'm gonna switch into Dunsparce, and this is where it gets funny. My opponent is absolutely flabbergasted at what they see in front of them. Like, they're like, that's a freaking Dunsparce, man. They Shadow Ball me because they have no idea what the hell they're doing. So you're gonna hit me with the Dark Hado, the Hadouken, but unfortunately, Street Fighter is not on your side. You messed up the input for Akuma, and you got Ryu. And Rock Slide actually does a lot. I watched that damage, and I'm like, wow, that does a lot more than I thought. Rock Slide does like 40% of Trev's HP. Seed Bombs are the way to go. And as you see, because Dunsparce is so tanky, I try to farm down, but then I realize they're going to get to another Seed Bomb. So I'm going to fire off this Rock Slide, and they're probably going to use their last shield. I'm going to watch for a switch, though, because literally my win condition here is to fast move down. Dunsparce has to live this, and I should be, if I switch into Swampert, I should be able to take out this Swampert, this G-Fisk with Hydro Cannon, and then I can Mud Shot down. because I still have Dunsparce alive, will simultaneous KO, but I will win just because Dunsparce has 1 HP in a dream. That was one of the most complex battles I've ever had in my entire GBL career, because I don't know how to use Dunsparce. But as you see there, that battle was nutty, and I hope y'all enjoyed that one, because that was definitely some of my best work. Our opponent loses the lead here, so they switch into Swampert. What we're going to do here is we're just going to stay in. I have a Sableye, I have Dunsparce. But because we have an energy lead, I actually like this a lot. Our opponent fires. What I want my opponent to do is I'm going to hope they go straight Hydro Cannon because I want all this extra energy. So as you see, I don't end up firing a move, but I get 2 mud shots worth of energy. 2 extra mud shots worth, which is actually great for us. So I'm going to fire my Hydro Cannon. If our opponent eats this, I might be able to mud shot down. That's my plan. So as you see, Hydro Cannon goes through, and because they are 2 away, I'm able to mud shot down. And I have all this energy. And I still have a whole Sableye and Dunsparce for whatever they have to offer. And it's a Skarmory. I kind of, I should have done 2 mud shots before I fired, but you know what? This is perfectly fine. It's going to eat the Shadow Dragonite. That does a ton of damage here. And as you see here, I'm trying to time my shots correctly, but unfortunately I'm unable to, which is okay. This should break a second shield or leave this Skarmory near dead, and they don't shield, which is great. Alright, and they use their final shield, which is great. This is a Sky attack. This is fine. I'm going to send in Sableye, but my opponent is actually very, very fancy because I send in Sableye, and then my opponent might catch the Foul Play, which they actually do because I'm just mashing on it, and there's the G-Fisk. So the funny thing is, you're going to see G-Fisk versus Dunsparce, and this is a hilarious matchup. As you see here, Dunsparce is summoned, and I'm going to drill run my way to victory, baby. We're going to throw all these rocks, and Rollout is absolutely ridiculous. For those of you back in the day that played Pokemon Silver way back in the day, and how Whitney traumatized me and everybody else because Whitney and Miltank with Rollout was one of the most disgusting things on the planet, and she took all of your souls, and it may force you to over-level so dang hard so that you can actually take out Miltank comfortably in only the 3rd freaking gym. We're going to drill run our way to victory. We're going to delete one of the most super meta mons from the planet thanks to Dunsparce. Unfortunately, I should have got 1 more through, but it doesn't really matter because all that's going to happen is I'm going to fire this freaking Rock Slide, and this should KO this Skarmory, and that's GG's. Dang, bro. You just got absolutely annihilated by Dunsparce. How does it feel? I'm just kidding. That was actually nutty. And I like going that Hydro Cannon, that Mudshot farm down into those triple Hydro Cannon was absolutely nuts. For the final battle, we have Shadow Swampert onto Hypno. This is actually kind of bad because as you see here, I fire on the wrong interval. The mistake I made here is I should have fired in between that animation. So fire on the next one so I get 1 Mudshot extra of energy. If I did that, I would have got to the Hydro Cannon before and put a lot of pressure on my opponent. This is a Thunder Punch. I'm banking that's a Thunder Punch, and then they swap into an Umbreon. That's terrible because I really don't have a hard answer to Umbreon. You don't want to send Sableye on an Umbreon. It's a terrible matchup. And all I'm going to do is send in Dunsparce, and then we're going to try to Rock Slide our way to victory. Mind you, Foul Play with Stab is actually going to chunk a little bit, despite the fact that Dunsparce is actually a pretty tanky mon. We're going to Drill Run our way in. I actually don't know damage to it, so I'm going to use Drill Run just because I know Drill Run is less energy overall than Rock Slide. However, despite this, as you see, Umbreon definitely has the advantage in this matchup. I'm going to fire Rock Slide just to see what kind of damage it's going to do, but regardless, I'm going to have to fire another move in order to take out this really tanky freaking Umbreon. Umbreon tanks it, and I'm going to go for the rollout. I should be able to live this, and then I'm going to fire my final Drill Run. Hopefully, I break a shield. My opponent doesn't know I have Sableye, but I'm in a lot of trouble right now. So I'm going to fire Rock Slide. I take out Umbreon, and then they send in their Hypno. I'm going to send in Sableye, and my opponent switches into Scrafty. So the only way so my best case scenario is there's a win condition here, but I have to get a return through shields. I fire Foul Play, and I'm able to grab 1 shield. And then I'm going to shield here. Actually, I don't shield this. I call the Foul Play. The reason I don't call it Foul Play is because it's probably a pup, and I managed to grab... that's actually great. Because of the fact here is now I can expend both of my shields. I have to make sure I get a return. The return is literally the only one over in here. Power Punch goes through again, and I'm going to fire Return. I was too wary about the foul play. That's why I didn't. That's why I should have called again. But I managed to get a return through shield. My win condition here is to be able to farm down, and unfortunately, I'm able to do so. I'm gonna shield this, and unfortunately, it's only a power punch. I could have lived that, sadly. They send in Hypno, and I actually had to catch this Thunder Punch. So now this Thunder Punch will KO. Now my best case scenario here is I have to see if I can get a simultaneous KO. I send in Swampert, and Swampert goes down. And now I sent in Dunsparce. Dunsparce is able to get 2 rollouts through. And then I'm actually simultaneously KO the Scrafty. So best case scenario, I played that really well. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. I'm still kind of salty about that last one because I could have won that. All I had to do was sack. If I sack, I win. Which I probably should have done, I was thinking that, I didn't think they could get to the second one, but then I forgot I sent in Swampert, so that's why I didn't sack. But I hope y'all enjoyed it anyways. I played that the best I could, despite the fact that that was a really rough match to begin with. Just because that back row just hard countered the holy heck out of my team. But despite that, I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. This was really freaking nuts. Dunsparce was a lot of fun, and I do encourage y'all to have fun because it's Season 12. Don't play Super Meta! Don't play super meta. Learn new movesets, get better. That's how you get better. This is how you see people pulling their hair out that they didn't make legend or whatnot. And in between, you didn't have any fun to begin with. Like, for example, the Grass Hole battle, the first time I'm like, really, dude, you're running Grass Hole at the beginning. Like, why? Like, this is how you get better. This is how you get better. This is how you have fun. And ironically, the people are like, oh my god, have fun and everything like that. They're just running super meta anyways. So if super meta is fun to you, then you must really like doing the same thing over and over again. I forgot who made that quote, that doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result is thing. But I forgot who made that quote. But yes, go out there, play some variety, have some freaking fun. Because like last season, despite freaking playing hundreds of battles of just absolute memes and doing really bad ideas, I still made legends. So you can still make it. So yes, but I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. Dunsparce was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed, because these weren't just regular battles. These were some of these were just insanely sweaty, and I don't know how the hell I found a win condition, but you know what? That's how good I am. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. My Dunsparce, she has done some work for me, and she has done really well for the shoutcast, so I'm very proud of her. Do me a huge favor, please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm, as I always say, and also I stream on Friday through Monday in the mornings. Work's gonna get busier though, because now school's in session, so Monday mornings might not be a thing, but I'll figure that out for a Monday stream. Other than that, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is pretty much a lock. But I do hope y'all enjoyed the battles. I hope you guys are having fun this season, so have fun. Don't run super meta. If you run a team and you're really good at Tempting, practice something else. Have fun. And because later on when you get flustered and angered, etc., when a non-therapist tells you and tries to tell you how they should do it, even though they ethically can't do that because they're not a psychotherapist and they're full of garbage, there you go. Yes. Or they're just toxic positive to oblivion. Yes. But despite all of this, have fun, good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.